In this lecture, we're going to get hands-on with IAM policies to see how they work in the real world. We'll perform a few experiments to truly understand permissions and how they are applied. Let's look at our user, Alice. As you can see, this user is a member of the admins group and has full administrator permissions. This means they can do anything in the console. Now I am logged in as the Alice user in a separate window. If I go to the IAM dashboard and look at the list of users, I can see my user listed there. Our goal here is to see what happens when we remove a user from a group. I am going back to the main console and navigating to the admins group. I'm now going to remove the user Alice from this group. Now if I switch back to the other window where I am logged in as Alice and try to refresh the users list, I get an access denied error. The system tells me that I no longer have permission to view users. This proves that when a user is removed from a group, they immediately lose the permissions they inherited from that group. Let's fix this access denied error. We'll go back to the Alice users page, but this time we'll add permissions directly to the user. Click on Add Permissions. Instead of adding the user back to the admins group, we're going to choose the option to attach policies directly. I'll search for and attach the policy named IAM Read Only Access. This policy will give our user the ability to read and view information within the IAM service, but not to change or create anything. Click Next, then click Add Permission. Now let's switch back to the Alice users console and refresh the page. As you can see, the error is gone. We can now view the list of users again. But can we perform an action that changes something? Let's try to create a new user group named Developers. Choose any random policy and click Create User Group. After attempting to create the group, we get an error saying Access Denied. This is because our policy only granted us read-only access. This is a perfect example of the principle of least privilege in action. We only have the permissions we were explicitly given. Let's perform one more experiment to see how a user can have multiple policies. I'm going to add the user Alice back to the admins group. I will also create a new group called Developers and attach a random policy to it. Then I'll add the user Alice to that group as well. Click on Create User Group. Now let's look at the Alice user's permissions. As you can see, the user has three different permission policies. Administrator access, inherited from the admins group. Alexa for business, inherited from the developers group. IAM read-only access, a policy attached directly to the user. This shows that a user can inherit permissions from multiple groups and also have policies attached directly to their account. Now, let's take a moment to look at the policies themselves. I'm going to navigate to the Policies section of the console. Let's look at the Administrator Access policy. If we click on the JSON tab, we can see the policy structure. The most important section here is the statement. We see the effect is set to allow. The action is set to a star, which means any action. And the resource is also a star, which means any resource. This is how an administrator policy is defined. It allows any action on any resource. Let's look at the IAM read-only access policy we used. When we click on its JSON, we see the effect is allow, but the action is a list of specific API calls. For example, it includes list users and get users. The policy uses a wildcard character, like list star, which allows for any API call that starts with the word list. You can also create your own custom policies, which is a very powerful feature. Let's walk through that now. I'm navigating to the Policies section and clicking Create Policy. You have two main options, a visual editor, or a JSON editor. The JSON editor is great if you're comfortable with the JSON format, but the visual editor is incredibly user-friendly for beginners. Let's use the visual editor. We'll select IAM as the service we want to configure. Now, we need to choose the specific actions we want to authorize. I'm going to search list user and select list users. Again, searching for get user and select get user. These are just two specific API calls. Next, we choose what resources these actions apply to. We'll select all resources for this simple example. When we click Next, we are taken to a review page where we can name our new policy. Let's call it My IAM Permissions, and click on Create Policy. Once the policy is created, we can view its JSON document. As you can see, the visual editor automatically generated the JSON for us, allowing IAM list users and IAM get user on all resources. This is a very handy tool for building policies without having to write code. Now, to wrap up this hands-on session, let's clean up our environment. I'm going to navigate to user groups and delete the developers group we created earlier, as we no longer need it. Then I'm going to go to the Alice users page and remove the IAM read-only access policy that we attached directly. Now our Alice user is back to their original state, belonging only to the admin group and having administrator access. That's it for this lecture. I hope this hands-on session helped you understand how permissions, groups, and policies work together in AWS. See you in the next video.